Hello everyone, we're coming to you from here in the French Quarter. Tonight the crew of Chewbaccus is rolling their parades, and there's some iffiness on whether or not it would roll because we had a little bit of bad rain earlier, but it has since cleared up, and we're down here across the street from Jack's Brewery on Decatur Street, just down from the Cafe du Monde Beignets. So all kinds of smells coming from around here, restaurants, fudge shops and ice cream shops and just everything down here. You know, and Cafe du Monde just down the street here. And it's kind of quiet down here, but because the rain kind of, you know, made people stay in more. But now that it looks like it's cleared up, I think more and more people will start coming out. The parade starts at 7 o'clock, and it starts down there at Franklin and St. Claude and wind its way down here. It's supposed to come down North Peters to Decatur. So I picked out I think is a prime spot. We'll see when the crowds start forming. And I was waiting for my ride to get down here, and it's just pouring down rain. And then we had some thunder and lightning while I was on my ride. So, but we made our way down here to the quarter, and so I missed out on doing the 40 Funny Fellows, who is looking to getting one of those ports for Wi-Fi, mobile ports, and because I guess my phone provider isn't, their signal sometimes gets weak, I guess. So, but anyway, I hope I'm going to be able to make it, because my ride comes and picks me up. They messed me up on my time ride, or times, and my pickup ride's supposed to pick me up between 9:50 and 9:45, and I asked for a 10 p.m. because I wasn't sure how long it'd take me to get down to Canal Street, you know, dealing with the crowd and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like people are showing up, coming out here on lining up along the sidewalks and stuff. So, but I came home from the hospital to an elevator that was down. It wasn't working in my building. So I got released on a Monday night. And was it Monday or Tuesday? May have been Tuesday evening, because we have a blind lady that lives on the floor I'm on, and she had a fire in her apartment. She's okay. It just, she has these little mishaps that happen. She had left some plastic cooking utensils on the stove top and had turned on the burners to heat the apartment. Now, I don't know why she's not using her HVAC to heat her apartment. It's a lot quicker and a lot more efficient than using the stove. But anyway, she caused the fire. Fire department came out and made sure everything was okay, and they blew the smoke off, out of the building. It was mainly confined to the second floor, so they used their power fans to blow it out the windows. And anyway, the elevator was down when I got home, and I couldn't get to my apartment because I'm on the second floor. I've been waiting to be able to transfer to this apartment on the first floor, but they haven't opened up placements and transfers and stuff for the housing programs. And so anyway, long story short, I spent 2 nights in the apartment that I'm supposed to move into eventually. I ended up spending 2 nights in that apartment because the elevator was broken down. So they had to have the elevator company come out and fix it, and the first day the elevator company said, oh, we're going to be there between this time and this time. Then they moved it to between this time and this time, and then it was after hours, and they wanted to charge overtime to come out and all that kind of stuff. And the manager went back and forth, or the property manager. She, I don't know if she's truly the property manager, but anyway, she went back and forth with the repair company, and they eventually came out after 2 days of it broken down. They finally showed up. They were supposed to be first thing in the morning, but they didn't show up until 12 or 1 in the afternoon. But thankfully they did and got it fixed, and I got back into my apartment. So anyway, it won't be too much longer. The parade will be coming by and stuff. I'm going to turn the picture around so you can see the crowd forming and where we're at and stuff like that. So, there we go. That's Jack's Brewery building. The brewery doesn't operate there anymore, but it's all like little restaurants and shops, gift shops and fudge shops, ice cream shops, chain stores, whatever you want. There's also, I believe, 3, maybe 4 condos on the top floors of the building that look out over the river and the French border. So it was supposed to be those luxury apartments. So I wonder if they get a lot of noise from what goes on below them. So, but it's also the same building that they use for New Year's Eve to, I think they dropped the baby or raised the baby, something like that, at the top of the building. So all I know is I come down to the river to watch the fireworks. So I never make it over to the Jack's Brewery building to see that whole thing go down. I'd much rather see the fireworks. I've always loved fireworks ever since I was a little kid. And then I started setting off fireworks. Oh, that was fun. But anyway, wow. We still going? Yeah, we're still going. So, anyway, let's see. So anyway, if you're listening out there, please like and subscribe. And I hope you enjoy the video and the parade and everything when that happens. And we got crowds forming along the sidewalks here, waiting for the parade to come by. When the parade's over with, they're going to have their big shindig, as I call it, but their crew ball at the Fillmore, right there at Caesar's Palace Casino, formerly Harrah's Casino. But anyway, they're going to have their big get-together there and have their celebration of a successful parade. So that's one of the things about it, what I love about the city. Loves to celebrate. There's always something going on. And it's interesting the characters that come out in the crowds and stuff like that. because they dress up for the parades, especially. And they like to do according to the theme of the I recently sprung lights on my wheelchair, and see if I can show you all the lights on my chair and stuff. I just got around the back. So that's part of the celebrating, you know, part of the season. So if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. And if you like the video, please hit that thumbs up. And join me in the chat room. Say hello. Let me know where you're from and everything. So I appreciate all the feedback that I can get. Lets me know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. But we'll turn you back around to the crowd that's forming and stuff. I got myself positioned out in the street, but at a barrier where they have these rent a blue bike station at. Now notice that almost all of them are empty, but that's how they always are. I hardly ever see a bike in one of these bike stations around the city. They have them all over, and it seems like they're all empty. Now, I don't see that many riding around on those bikes. Makes you wonder. Chewbacchus is it's based on Chewbacca from Star Wars. They is intergalactic chaos, I guess. I just love the different parades because they'll take on the political climate of the city, state, even the federal government and stuff. So, it's fun. But they also, have other themes. It all depends what's going on. So, it's a lot of fun. How y'all doing? Thank you for the thumbs up. Join me in the chat. Say hello. And let me know where you're from. I was on my ride. I was chatting with a gentleman who's been with the Sheriff's Department for 30 years. He started out as a deputy. Now, since he had health issues, he had a stroke that paralyzed his arm and stuff. So now he's in the maintenance department. And but he's been with the department over 30 years. And we were chatting, and because I was with the Sheriff's Department for 8 years before I ended up leaving it. I should have stuck it out for another 4 years, but I had health issues going on that I didn't feel I could keep up with the demand, because after I broke my ankles, things started going downhill. So, and I broke that ankle during an altercation with an inmate. Didn't want to lock down, but oh well. And water under the bridge. So, and we got quite the police or law enforcement along the parade route and everything, because they don't. The security's been up since New Year's of last year, so they are keeping a really heavy presence to keep incidents like that from happening, or keeping it to a minimum. So, my goodness. I hope y'all plan on subscribing if you aren't subscribers already. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps out my channel. So definitely join me in the chat. That'd be nice. Let me know how you doing, and say hi, and where you're from, all that. So, there we go. I guess something was keeping the chat closed on me. Watching from across the river in Marrero. All right, Justin. And JP, how you doing? Myrtle Beach, huh? Florida? Oh my goodness. Hello there. Oh, I hope everybody's staying warm, because there's a real cold front coming down from the north, and it's coming into Louisiana, and it's going to be a chilly one here. How you doing, NOLA? 22 NOLA? Cottonwood, Arizona is where you're at? All right. Well, crowds are really starting to form now because it's getting... Yeah, the parade's already started, but it's down there, Franklin. It's on St. Claude right now. And it'll turn onto Elysian Fields, and then turn from Elysian Fields to North Peters and Decatur. So it shouldn't take too long for it to get here. But it's a fun parade, you know, intergalactic chaos, as they put it. They do everything green. In other words, everything's either pedaled by bike or some other mode of transportation other than electric motors. Or gas motors, rather. So there may be electric powered, but most of them are like motorized carts and bicycles and stuff like that they decorate up and the like. So be interesting to see who's participating. So hello, Tom Jackson. How you doing? Greenwood, South Carolina. All right. Haven't been to South Carolina for a long time. I'll have to drop in there sometime in my travels. I'm gonna do some traveling this year. One of my first stops is gonna be Atlanta, Georgia, and I may take a cruise, see what's available and stuff. It's either that or I may head up to Washington, D.C. to go to the Smithsonian museums before someone closes them down on us or renames them. So, anyway. Wow, guys, join me in the chat. You know, hit that like button too. I'd appreciate it. It really helps out. More people get to see the video and stuff. Hi, John. How you doing? You live in Macomb, Mississippi, but are you here in New Orleans right now on vacation or something? It's not the parade, but here comes one of the transportation bikes that we have running around the French border. They charge you by the block. So it's a nice little ride. They started back before I ended up in the wheelchair, and I used them a couple of times. And it's kind of cool riding around. Someone's pedaling instead of yourself, you know? Christopher, how you doing? Centerville, Mississippi. All right. Got all the southern chiming in. All right, John, not yet coming here. Well, I hope you make your trip here during Mardi Gras. It's a fun time. Yeah, so am I, Savoy. I'm excited for Mardi Gras myself. It's one of my favorite things. I'm going to try to make as many parades as I can this year. The last few years I've tried and things happen that you know, so the crowd's really starting to show up now. They're going to be disbanding the parade just down the street, about 4 blocks or so at Conti, and they head to the Fillmore there at the casino. Actually, I used to be in the crew of Iris and Maria in Metairie. All right. See, I haven't been to any of the parades out there in Metairie. I think mainly because I'm worried about being able to get to and from there. Because the paratransits are very picky about being around a crowd and stuff like that, traffic, which I can understand. And I think the majority of the parades are, well, hi, Asia. How you doing? But most of the parades in Metairie are down Veterans Boulevard, if I remember right. And so you can really get blocked off. So that's why I haven't been out there yet. Yep, correct, huh? Well, I guess my memory actually is working. Sometimes. Sometimes it is. It's like I remembered Caesar's Palace Casino earlier, the name of it. I couldn't think about it 5 minutes later, what it was. So my memory's going. But I have brain parts like that. So it's more like long gas periods. But hey Zachary, how you doing? brother, do you ever shut up? No, I don't. So, I can't help you, Zachary. Is there where the Chewbacchus parade is showing? How do you become a member of the crew? Well, you have to go to their website. You can Google them, Crew of Chewbacchus, and click on their website address. I think it's a .org address, and they have a link there to join the crew. So I'm not sure how much it is for membership, but all the crews, they pretty much have an open enrollment. Some crews charge an arm and a leg for membership, and others are reasonable. Let's put it that way. So, oh, Zachary, you're such a wonderful person. Love goes out to you. All my love and prayers for you, Zachary. And you know what? Even someone that's negative, I'm not going to keep them out of the chat. It's just, I'll say a prayer and send out love to you, regardless. So, let's see. I don't think the Chewbacca, the parade's showing yet on the boulevard. So that's where they're going to be coming from, down that way. But you see the blinking lights of the police vehicles. So I gotta get back in my spot before I lose it. It's not easy sometimes looking behind me and not bumping into someone.
These things are there.
So, but we're down here on Decatur in the French Quarter. Oh, where to stay during Mardi Gras? Because a lot of the hotels get booked up real fast. It also depends on where you plan on watching the parades from. Because if you're going to be down on St. Charles, say, for the parade, why not stay at one of the hotels down there on St. Charles, or one of the bed and breakfasts down there? Otherwise, if you want to be near the French Quarter, we have a ton of hotels, and numerous Marriott and boutique hotels. There's even high priced like the Ritz-Carlton. So, but there's a whole bunch of different hotels. The best thing to do is go on Expedia or hotels.com, and You can find the great hotels there. That's what I usually do. I use Expedia to, and no, this isn't an advertisement, but that's how I do my travel plans anymore. And I just find something that's within my price level. Living on Social Security, well, a little rough. Thank you for the likes, everyone. I truly appreciate that.
You're like,
yeah.
Oh yeah. No, they're not. A lot of clothes out there too.
It's interesting trying to live your life on because I was used, when I was working, I was starting to get decent pay, an actual living wage and stuff. And now it's,
Are there any
I'm trying to feel my way around. So I used to be able to take real vacations. Now they're just like 2 and 3 day stays, and that's it, if I can even do them. So used to love driving across country. Oh, used to be so much fun. Take 2 weeks and just drive around the country, see things, enjoy the people, enjoy the food, all that kind of stuff. See the sights. I love history, and historical places. So there was one year I was on a bench to, hey, Jersey Lake Witch. I love the name. And cheers to you. Have I tried drinking heavy? Yes, I have. When I was much younger, I used to spend 6, maybe even 7 nights a week at the bar drinking and partying. And I'd party all night long, even close the bars out at 2 p.m. and party after that at the party house until I needed to go to work in the morning. So, oh, Zachary, prayers to you. How long before the parade gets to you? I would say probably about 10 minutes, maybe 15 before we see the beginning of it. So it started at 7. So, but it started, I'm down near the end of the route. It started at 7 down on Franklin and St. Claude. And it's making its way down St. Claude right now, and we'll be turning onto Legion Field. Well, you're welcome, Jessica. I appreciate that. Thank you. How are the hostels? Well, You know, I try to stay away from the hostels because some of them aren't, you know, they're extremely bed bug friendly, let's put it that way. You know, once I see a bed bug, I'm out of there. So I don't want to deal with them. How are the prostitutes in that neighborhood? I don't know. You'll have to come and try them. I don't go there. They love guys in wheelchairs, I've heard. I don't think so, because most of those places have stairs and or some kind of a barrier to keep wheelchairs from going in. So I'm not worried about it because I don't go there. So there you go. Hope I answered your question, Zachary. But hey, come to the city, enjoy the prostitutes if that's your thing. I don't travel to go see prostitutes. I travel to see people. So. Oh, Zachary. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know, now I know why Dumpstar blocks people out of his chat.
Where's that at?
You know. But we get those, you know, that's what you put up with. And tolerate and everything. But Zachary, my love and prayers go out to you for a better life. I travel for New Orleans culture and art. I do art myself. Oh, great, John. Boy, I'd love to see some of your art. I love art. I just absolutely love art. I try to go to as many museums as I can possibly go to, you know, for the different, whether it be his history, you know, or for art, whatever the case may be. I love, and I collect art. I just love the art that comes from a lot of the artists here in the city. You like Pirates Alley? Yeah, that's a cute little alley to go down. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah, there's artists there. There's some of the big locations for artists, local artists, because we have a number of artist loft buildings here where artists can rent and live and do their art at. We know there's a new pottery place that has pottery wheel lessons and stuff. So there's glass shops that have classes. Yeah, this is quite the city for artists. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. There's a place where artists live. Yeah, there's a number of artist lofts buildings. There's one or two in the Maroney Bywater area. There's one over on South Norman C. Francis Boulevard. It's called the Blue Plate Loft, Artist Loft. And it used to be the Blue Plate mayonnaise manufacturing plant here in New Orleans, and they turned it into artist lofts. There's just like they have like a village for music, people that are in the music industry here. So you got a little poppy here. I love it. I want to get myself, well, I'd like to get myself a raccoon again, but I'll settle for a dog.
It is in space. It's kind of like
What do you play? Do you sing? Do you play instruments, John? You sing. All right.
I know.
Do you oh, really? All right. Do you sing at any of the clubs near you? Or travel around and do the nightclub circuit?
Go out for cocktails.
Let's see if I can get a shot without losing my spot. Not quite on the boulevard yet.
It's cold. It's yellow. Actually, here is yellow. Coronas are good. Corona with
No, it's on its way. Yeah. Well, you know, there's a lot of clubs here in New Orleans that you can perform at. So, or like some of the artists do, they I can't remember if it I think it's on Royal Street where a lot of singers, performers go and that type thing. I've even seen outside Cafe Du Monde Little bands will set up right there at the sidewalk, on the sidewalk at the street, and play, and people can listen all day long to different groups or singers and stuff like that. So I'm stuck at home in the garden district, so I need me some Chewbacchus. Well, I'm glad I can help, Michelle. John, I believe you do. You have to get a license from the city to be able to do that. I'm not sure how much they cost. I think it's just like a minimal fee, like 50 bucks, something like that. I've thought about doing that myself, except not as a singer, but as an artist. So I'm getting started back up doing oil painting.
It's like Bacchus ball is straight out.
Yeah, Michelle, I hear you on that one. Yeah, I was getting in early too, like that. I remember my brother taking me to my first stripper bar, but I was already going to bars when I was 16. So, and I was 16 when he took me to the stripper bar. Oh, God. Ah, Jessica, you're 36 now. Yeah, I'm 67. I'm old enough to be your older brother.
Like this feels weird. 2 days ago I was doing this like in sneakers on the street. Like it's So like it's fun.
Well, I'm not sure.
And it's not every like some of them are like.
I'm not sure on that, John. That's something you need to find out. I'm not sure what the requirements are for the different lofts. I know the main requirement is that you be an artist. So, Michelle, yes. You weren't even born when I graduated high school, so. Believe it or not, I'm the baby of my family. And two of my siblings have passed away. I still have an older brother. He'll be hitting 79 this year in March. Oh, yeah, blues and jazz and everything, Zydeco even. Boy, when I worked for Tower Records at the warehouses, I got big into Zydeco. Oh, man. See, my interests range from opera and classical all the way to rap and hip hop and all that. And then, Creole and Zydeco. I love good music. Okay? That's all there is to it. I love good music. It don't matter what the genre is. More people need to explore other genres of music. There's a lot they listen to one type and that's it. So. Seeing a mother trying to catch up to her little child.
Yeah, if you remember, if you type in butcher, it's really good.
Well, I'll tell you, the weather cleared up quite nicely. So that'll be good.
Yeah, so it's like attached, so they like have really nice.
I believe. They tolerate it. Now, I'm sure you're a lot better singer than what you're saying. So. But, yeah, growing up, I played all kinds of instruments, but I couldn't master any of them. My mother made the mistake of giving us piano lessons, and the best I could do was play the elephant waltz, and that was even shaky as it was. So. But I love listening to music, and sometimes, I'll sing along with something, but I'm not I can't stay in key or anything like that, so, I think we may have we got something going on. I see movement. Uh-oh. We got someone moving behind me, huh? So you gotta stay back a certain. Oh, singing telegrams. Okay. Oh, that's one way of making money. So. Uh-oh. There we go, Elvis. All right. Well, John, I can, my email address is neworleanswayoflife@gmail.com, and send me some pictures and stuff. I'd love to see them, and who knows, maybe get one of your pieces of work on my wall. We'll see. But yeah, if you want to go to New Orleans Way of Life at gmail.com, that's NEWORLANSWAYOFLIF at gmail.com. But I'd love to see your art. See what happens here. Crowds are really showing up now. It's not one of the bigger parades, but it's a fun parade. Beginning is at Decatur and Madison. All right. Thank you for that. I'm not sure where Madison is, though. I think there's some dancing groups in the parade, and let's see what else. All right now. She's all decked out. All decorated up. All right. Oh my goodness.
A couple years ago, we had
let's see. Do I need to put your name? No. Just put your name on it, and so I know who I'm talking to and everything, and send me the email with some of the pictures that you've got, some of the artwork. Like I said, I'd love to see it.
stuff like this, but
yeah, I've done watercolors. I do oil painting. I've done ceramics. I would love to learn to do glass work. Boy, that would be something. I don't think they'll let me near a glass kiln or anything. I may be a danger to them. Here's Sam. I'm not sure what. Don't want to go too far out into the street because then it gets pushed back. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to run over. Yeah, it will end at Decatur and Conti, which is about 4 blocks away from where I'm at. Some of our finest. They're telling people to back up.
Got to back up to you. You're fine. They're just too close to the street.
Yeah.
Should be behind that one line.
enough room for the walking groups that are coming through and other things. You know, you don't want to crowd them or anything like that because you might get injured, they might get injured, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's a reason why they're called tops. That's they throw things, you know. You don't go up and grab them, you know. Took them an hour to get down here from where they started. and I've even trained when the Chiefs go marching through Jazz Fest and stuff. They'll go through with their crew and stuff. I'll take a look out when I get home tonight. I appreciate that, John. Not to get people's backs in the picture, but I love what they're projecting on that. I'm hoping for snow, even though people here don't want snow. I'm hoping for it. I love seeing the snow. that pickup spot down on Sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that. Time to move now. Crew of the Living Dead. There we go. need exactly. I'm doing okay as it is. There's Chewbacca. I understand that, Michelle.
Big ass of course.
Wookie Yeah, it's a fun time here. How's it going, number one team, huh? I can keep on rotating it, but then I get the same person the whole time. And I'm in a wheelchair, so, and I've got a crowd around me. I try to do the best that I can. I'm not able to do like what this lady's doing. Oh my goodness. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's fun about this parade. They make it as powered by bicycles. think we got a stripper in the middle there.
There's a mimic! Sorry. I was drunk, guys. Really bad. Like anyone, that's a good water. It's like a glass. It's like glass.
I mean, that's really attention to dragon reference. It's like so yeah, that's a little obscure.
I'm not even done.
Take it all off. Thank you.
They actually were. That's so fair.
Garcia Schwartz is his biggest guy.
That's so fair. I know he's.
Oh, okay. It's got also a back to it, too. Thank everybody for watching my live stream here. I truly appreciate it. And all the likes too. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It helps out my channel.
I'd rather piece of
Thank you, Gigi. Slayer with the beard. So that's why you stuck it out of Zachary, because I'm the only one. You're sticking around because you know it's a fun parade. It's a smaller parade, but it's a fun parade. There we go. Should be getting close to the end, I believe. There we go. Wait, I didn't know this was. Oh, thank you.
Put on your sister.
All right. Bracelet. Happy Mardi Gras bracelet. Here we go. Thank you. adjustable arm that attaches to my wheelchair. Thank you. I think it's a sparkler. Oh, there you go. that you can't get. I think it's a sparkler. Not to see it in better light. got poisoned. It is tasty. I can't believe she gave me her flask. Southern hospitality, Charlotte. That's for sure.
I think it's too cool.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know anything.
I think more of the obscure.
Point it out.
This is lasting longer than I thought it was going to last this year. You know, I really thought the rain was going to make some of the people not, you know, participate in the parade and stuff.
Those are the vampires. The kitty cats are for the vampires.
I gotta make sure that my wheelchair's turned off. I also had a couple of people bump into me that were crossing the street. I got everything set. Flying. Yeah, I'm glad that the rain held off too. Or let's put it this way. Left us. I hope there's no more rain during Mardi Gras season. Just during the season. That's all. I want to see all the parades run. All right. I may have to join the parade soon. Yeah, it's interesting, some of the stuff that they construct and everything, because this is all, it's a walking, very green parade. Gas-powered engines propelling things. It's all done by bicycle or electric vehicles. So, alright. We're to the end of it. on Decatur Street in the French Quarter. Like I'm gonna, oh my goodness. Oh no, ZZ. You know, I try my best. I can't always. Oh my goodness. Oh, there you go. Isn't that Chucky? Yeah.
Swim in about a minute.
Yeah, we gotta move back. That's what I was afraid of. Are you gonna move? Purple people eaters. Well, I haven't heard of them in a long time. it, girls. Get a lap dance. How you doing, Mark? He's losing it. Talk about boobies.
I didn't see it. Damn it. Damn it. I didn't see it. Wow. I was locked out. I was locked out. I was sleeping. Who sent it to me?
We're all immigrants. I'm gonna have to take off here. Need to pay it. Well, won't exactly be full video when I get in the parade. Because basically, I'll just be I'll be getting someone down here. I gotta make my ride. I'm trying to find a break in it. I'm sorry.